Agentic AI has crossed the final integration threshold. Intelligence can now autonomously execute verifiable on-chain actions. This convergence turns fragmented data into programmable infrastructure. Trade finance cycle will collapse from days to seconds. Here are this week's 5 top stories, each one decoded. If this is your first time on this channel, I am Darlington Gospel. I design AI, blockchain, and automation infrastructure for businesses that want to operate at enterprise scale. This is the Beyond the Blockchain series. Now let's break down what is going on in the industry. So the first story that we have here is TRON DAO deepens role in agentic AI infrastructure as B.AI launches. Now let's break this story in details. Blockchain settlement rails are now mandatory for enterprise-grade agentic AI infrastructure. TRON DAO launches B.AI on April the 15th. This provides AI agents with native access to model services and identity. Here is what this means for your infrastructure stack or business. B.AI creates a purpose-built financial layer on the TRON network. Agents can now operate without traditional credit card or onboarding. Stablecoin rails allows for low-cost instant finality. This replaces legacy compliance bottleneck in cross-border settlements. Agents become autonomous economic participants in verifiable on-chain identities. So what does this actually change, especially for your business? For business owners, what you need to do is deploy agents that autonomously settle their own transaction fees. This eliminates manual accounting for high-volume automated services. For investors, infrastructure value is moving to blockchain-native settlement fabrics. The window for isolated AI pilot is closing fast. For tech leads, integrate blockchain trust layer into your agentic workflow now. Stablecoin rails are now the standard for machine-to-machine payments. Here's my strategic verdict for this particular story. On-chain settlement is the only way to scale autonomous agent economies. Look into deploying B.AI protocol to remove human intermediaries from your payment stack. Now for story 2, agentic AI sprawl becomes top enterprise security risk. Let's break down this story in details. Enterprise agentic adoption requires immediate orchestration layer to prevent systematic sprawl. OutSystems 2026 report shows 96% of enterprise now uses AI agents. Adoption has shifted from experimentation to mission-critical operations. Here's what this means for your business infrastructure stack. Nearly half of global IT leaders rate their agentic capabilities as advanced. However, 94% report significant concerns regarding governance and security. Current systems lack the observability needed for autonomous fleet management. This replaces fragmented automation with a centralized orchestration fabric. You cannot manage what you cannot see inside the stack. So, what does this actually change for your business? For business owners, centralize your agentic governance before sprawl creates liabilities. Operational resilience depends on unified infrastructure, not siloed tools. For investors, companies solving agentic observability will capture the markets. Governance layer are the next high-value infrastructure play. For tech leads, audit your automation fabric and observability layer immediately. Implement a 7-layer review to secure your autonomous operating model today. And here's my strategic verdict for this particular story. The speed of agentic adoption has outpaced enterprise governance capacity. Architect your orchestration layer today or face systematic operational failure tomorrow. The third story for today is HIVE Digital pivots $75 million toward AI infrastructure backbone. This is huge. Let's break it down. Legacy mining infrastructure is the fastest path to sovereign enterprise compute. HIVE Digital Technologies announced a $75 million note offering. They are procuring GPUs and expanding specialized data centers. Here is what this means for your infrastructure layer today and your business. HIVE is repurposing energy-efficient facilities for agentic and inference workloads. This leverages existing power assets for high-density AI compute. It provides a domestic alternative to public cloud GPU shortage. This replaces dependence on centralized, oversubscribed compute providers. Energy and hardware are now vertically integrated for intelligence. So, what does this actually change for your business? For business owners, secure your long-term compute capacity now to avoid delays. Sovereign compute is the only way to protect proprietary model data. For investors, capital is flowing to intersection of energy and AI. Evaluate miners who are successfully transitioning to inference providers. For tech leads, map your observability layer to localized compute assets. Localized hardware reduces latency for real-time agentic decisioning. And here's my verdict on this particular story. The physical layer is now the primary bottleneck for agentic scaling. Secure your compute backbone before hardware supply chain tightens further. For the fourth story for today is enterprise race for autonomous operating models accelerates. This is also huge. Let's break it down. Infrastructure must shift from assistive support to fully autonomous orchestration. TechStrong report confirms enterprises are aggressively investing in AI-ready stacks. The shift targets core security, DevOps, and IT operations. Here's what this means for your business infrastructure layer. Enterprises are building reliable, cost-controlled compute layer for autonomous systems. This replaces the old model of AI as a simple assistant. New architectures prioritizes real-time decisioning at enterprise scale. The infrastructure must support high-volume autonomous agent interaction 24/7. This framework demands a new standard of system resilience and observability. So, what does this actually mean for your business? For business owners, move your operating model from assistive to autonomous. This is the only path to 10x your operational efficiency. For investors, look for stacks that offer native agentic orchestrations. Fragmented tools are becoming a liability for enterprise customers. For tech leads, design for autonomy from the data layer up. Build observability layer in your stack to handle machine-driven decision logs accurately. And here is my strategic verdict on this particular story. Assistive AI is no longer enough to maintain a competitive edge. Rebuild your stack for autonomous execution or risk permanent stagnation. Lastly, amongst these top stories is story 5, which is Obriy AI secures funding for multi-agent orchestration. This is really interesting. Let's break it down. Coordinated multi-agent fabrics are replacing the era of single task automation. Obriy AI raised $500,000 to scale its Shaw platform. The system coordinates AI agents for complex government and enterprise tasks. Here's what this means for your business infrastructure stack. The Shaw platform manages task handoff between specialized AI agents. It integrates disparate internal systems into a unified intelligence layer. This replaces siloed RPA tools with a dynamic multi-agent workforce. Agents can now collaborate on high-volume operational tasks autonomously. The architecture ensures reliability across complex multi-step workflows. So, what does this actually mean for you? For business owners, replace manual task routing with an automated agent fabric. Scaling no longer requires a proportional increase in human management. For investors, multi-agent orchestration is the next phase of enterprise AI. The value is in the coordination layer, not just the model itself. For tech leads, move beyond single agent scripts toward integrated agent systems. Siloed agents create data gap. Coordinated fabrics closes them. And here is my strategic verdict on this particular story. The future of enterprise operation is a fleet of coordinated agents. You have to deploy an orchestration fabric to manage your digital workforce today. Here is the conclusion of the matter. Intelligence, sovereign compute, and autonomous settlement have officially converged. These 5 stories prove that agentic operating system is now a requirement. If you want to build a modern infrastructure that survives tomorrow, the consulting booking link is in the description section. Let's talk about it. If you're finding value in this content, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way, you'll never miss any episode here on this channel. Follow me on X and LinkedIn. I post valuable content like this daily on those platforms. Drop an industry or a business in the comment section, describe the problem, I will design the full system for it. And that is your infrastructure briefing for this week. Let's build that star that survives tomorrow.